Welcome back, you guys. This is Riley here with Learn With Me, and this lovely pile of dirt, crap, whatever you want to call it, back behind me is my compost pile, and we're about to have some fun, you guys. So, if you're new here, welcome to my humble abode. If you're one of my frequent subscribers and viewers that comes back, just go ahead and settle in. So, what we're gonna do here, just for everyone that's new here, is that I'm gonna make a contribution, show you guys how I turn my pile. And I just want you guys to know, just up right off the bat, just full transparency, I turn my pile as much as I can or as little as I can, just to try to, get on top of it as best I can with my schedule. I have a child at home. I have a wife. I have a family. I have a full-time job. So sometimes turning compost isn't something that I can necessarily get to doing every day as much as, the gardening experts would like to tell you. So I'm just gonna show you guys just my latest installment of doing so, and hopefully you guys can learn something from it. So let's get to it. So again, what people are typically familiar with is that typically I like to use old ice cream tubs to fill up like just scraps and different things that are compostable, fruit scraps, vegetable scraps, sometimes I use sourdough starter that I'm done with, or even like kombucha scobies that I like no longer have a use for, or if they get contaminated of some sort of process of any kind. But usually you want to kind of just include like just different things. Like sometimes when I'm in between turnings, I'll go ahead and throw some leaves on there. I'll drive by some different houses on the way home, and I'll see that somebody will have like put out some leaves from just raking up leaves from their yard and just cleaning up, and I'll use that. So never look at it as what you're like. I know people kind of struggle to get into it, but you can really utilize a lot of different things around your yard. Like whenever I have like different tree limbs and stuff that fall down, I'll make sure to cut them up and then put them in there. I'll use old plants, just different things. I try to avoid invasive things because while you can use some invasive plants in your compost, the thing about it is that it just makes it a bit difficult. It makes it so that you have to turn it more frequently, so that those plants end up dying when you end up turning it, and when the heat picks up, and from the bacterial, like microbial, like movement and stuff like that. So of course these are all my tubs right here, and we're gonna go ahead and add it in. So let's get to it. So as you can see, I've already dug a hole that's pretty deep into this pile. And one thing that I like to prioritize is just while I could just, throw it on top and then mix it in, I feel like that's a lot of time and effort. And, if I really was getting into like a pretty detailed process, I might be able to set aside an hour, 30 minutes, an hour a day, or several hours a week to doing this. But I feel for me, in my schedule, the best thing that helps with me is to make a deep pile and then to throw the stuff in there. So I'm going to go ahead and begin and do that. Also, just so you guys know, there's going to be a bag of just some cuttings from my peppermint, my spearmint, oregano, and lemon balm that I was just trimming the leaves off of, and I'm going to throw those in there. While it's not best to really throw invasive things like this in there, I'm going to make sure to stay on top of this and pour stuff on it and make sure to mix it up so that if anything does happen, we can at least try to break it up and prevent it. But otherwise, then you guys will see me learn from some another mistake in one of the many mistakes I make on a daily basis. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and pour water into this. This is a bit unorthodox, but I really want to kind of get some of the soil under this to be a bit wet. I know, like usually I'll just kind of wet it afterwards, but I'm gonna wet it a bit before. That way I can also have this water hose on so I can rinse out the ice cream buckets as I'm going through here. Um, Reason why I say I'm not really too big onto watering it is that sometimes I like to plan my turning of my compost around when it's going to rain, and it's supposed to rain today and maybe a few more days from now. Look for the next few days, so that should give it plenty of moisture. And in between those breaks, I'll try to turn it as best I can. So start off, I'm gonna go ahead with these, and then we'll get you up close and personal. All right, as we get further and further into this, we're gonna get to older and older scraps. So this, believe it or not, it's gonna be the more beautiful sight. You're gonna see me make some weird faces throughout this too. Okay, just a little mold, not too bad. Ooh, that one's pretty hairy. I think that was a sweet potato. I mean, check this out. That is a fuzzy sweet potato there. Okay, yeah, this one got plenty worse. Like, check that out. All right, coming on to the last one. Oh yeah, this one's pretty gnarly. Check this out, you guys. Like, all right, now that we're back, I'm gonna go ahead and cover this up. Now, in the process of doing that, I'm gonna try to gather up some of the stuff around there and put it down there in the hole with it. That way, that some of the parts that haven't been getting broken down as much can also be included in that process. But yeah, as you can see, this is just generally what it is. There's not much to it. I'm gonna kind of stab at it a bit more, but other than that, I'm just gonna focus on most of my turning being in the next few days and stuff like that. Now that the reason I dig the hole is so that it can be deep in there and things that like pests and stuff like that that come across it won't really know what's inside of this pile. But you know, the things that like the bacteria and stuff like that that's inside this pile, like then the bugs, like they'll know and they'll break it down, and the worms and stuff like that. So as long as I can keep it fortified for there, we should be good. But yeah, you guys, if you guys need anything else, feel free to let me know. If not, I will see you guys next time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment. I really appreciate it if you guys would do all those things. Share it with your friends, share it with people you like, share it with people you don't like, and feel free to comment. If you don't know what to comment or say, just say, hey. I love talking to each and every one of you. You guys have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. I knew I didn't say that right. You know, just want to kind of keep you guys updated. Oopsie. Just want, hey, hey.